Stage fright happens to even the most experienced of performers. Even Adele has been quoted as saying that she is scared of audiences. Can you believe that? Kia ora and welcome back. My name's Zoe Stebe, your vocal coach for today, and I have experienced terrible stage fright. I went from performing in front of hundreds of thousands of people to having crippling panic attacks at even the thought of standing on stage. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my tips and exercises that I have learned over the last few years that have helped me to get back to performing. So let's get straight to the video on how you can help with your stage fright for performing. Preparation is key. One of the leading causes of stage fright, in my opinion, is being underprepared. Be sure to start your preparation well in advance and plan out when you're going to know your lyrics off by heart, when you're going to be starting working with the microphone, and when you're going to be starting filming yourself to double check your performance. You want to make sure that your entire performance goes really, really deep into your subconscious part of the brain, because when you experience stage fright on stage, that subconscious part of your brain is going to take over. So for example, when you get up on stage, we experience that fight or flight response within our body. That's our body's response to stress, because our body knows no difference to when we're in a dangerous situation to when we're standing on stage. I recommend that you sing your song while doing something else. So say washing the dishes, doing the vacuuming. Make sure that you've got something that you can kind of distract yourself with. And if you can keep on singing the lyrics, no matter what you're doing, you know that your subconscious brain has got you sorted. Number 2 is to manage your caffeine consumption. Caffeine will raise your cortisol levels. Those are your stress levels. And that's not a very good idea if you're someone that experiences performance anxiety or stage fright. I want you to think a little bit about your energy drink consumption or your green tea, black tea, caffeine consumption on the day that you're going to go on stage. I, for example, usually have about 3 double espressos a day. So on my performance days, because I experience such terrible stage fright, I want to manage my stress levels, keep my heart rate down at more of a relaxed level. So I cut down to 2 coffees at the earlier part of the day, and then I switch to decaf drinks for the rest of the day. Just a note, that also goes as well for sugar. So just watching your sugar intake on the day, because sometimes sugar can also cause our heart rate to increase. Number 3 is getting in a good meal on the day of your performance. Nothing is worse on a day of performance when your anxiety just doesn't allow you to eat and you feel like you can't get anything down. Find something that you can eat, because when you have food in your belly, you're going to have the energy that you need in order to perform. One of the reasons why you might start to shake and get jittery before you go on stage might be because your blood sugar is low. So if you get a balanced meal a couple of hours before you perform, then you're going to be sure to level out those blood sugar levels so that you don't start getting jittery before your performance. Number 4, remember that the stress response in the body is exactly the same as our excitement response. So when you feel those jitters, those butterflies in your stomach, I want you to tell yourself that that is the excitement of the performance and not, oh my God, I'm so nervous. Remember to tell yourself that you started your preparation well in advance and you are really excited about this day. If you've had any performances in the past that have gone well, remind yourself you didn't die last time you stood on stage. Your brain needs that because it's going into, again, that fight or flight response. If you feel like this is something that would be helpful for you, then check out the link in the description below for my free downloadable PDF with exactly these exercises on it so that you can do it away from this YouTube video. Number 5, have your 5 truths locked and loaded. I recommend that you have 5 truths written down before you head to the venue. I always use the same ones and I repeat them to myself over and over again, because this is again a way for us to reconfirm that we are ready, we are good, and we are going to do well at this performance. The important part is that your brain has to believe it. They have to be truthful, okay? So you can't say, I'm Beyonce, yeah? If you don't believe that, if you genuinely believe that, then say that. But if you have to genuinely believe it. So for example, my truths are, I have practiced, I am prepared, I have worked hard for this. I am a good singer. I love singing and performing. And those people out there are more afraid of doing what I'm doing and in more of awe of what I'm doing than I am afraid of them. I know that one sounds a little bit long-winded, but it really helps me when I'm on stage. You can choose any 5 truths, but be sure to write them down and just have them ready for yourself. Say them over and over and over again. The next stress management exercise for you is to manage your breathing. You might have heard of this one before, but managing your breath rate will also help to slow down your heart rate. So you're going to breathe in for 4 through the nose, hydrating that air, and out for 8. Hold for 4. Breathe in for 4 through the nose. Out for 8. Hold for 4. That is going to, I already feel it. I'm talking a little bit slower, lowering that heart rate. That's going to really help with your stress response. One of the best exercises that my coach helped me with was naming what's going on in my body. Okay, it sounds a bit odd, but I used to think about performing. As I said at the start of the video, I would think about the performance and I would go into full on panic mode. Okay, my fingers would go numb, my feet would go numb, which is very difficult when you're trying to sing. My fingers would go numb, which is very hard when you're trying to play the guitar or the piano. And I just was unable to move very well. So labeling those things that are happening really, really helped me. So for example, my heart rate is increasing. Actually, my watch would always tell me, I usually wear my smartwatch, was telling me like relax reminder. And that just didn't help me looking at my pulse as it was like steadily rising. But to label the things that are happening, my pulse is rising. My fingers are going numb. My fingers are tingling. My lips are tingling. My mouth is going dry. My feet are getting numb. I'm feeling really cold. And the list goes on. Labeling those things and repeating them to yourself is going to help you bring your mind back to the here and now, which is really important before you start spiraling out of control. Actually, if you want my tips on how you can deal with a dry mouth, because that's something that happens to me as well, I don't know if it happens to you, check out the link in the description below where I go into ways that you can combat dry mouth before performing. Throat lozenges. This is actually one in my dry mouth video as well, but throat lozenges are really, really great, not only because they help combat dry mouth, but also because they slow down your breathing rate. You've got the thing in your mouth, you're breathing through your nose, and you're generally breathing a little bit slower because it's very hard for you to breathe and swallow at the same time. It's also going to help you to hydrate the breath. So breathing through the nose is going to help to moisten the air before it reaches the vocal folds and thus kind of hindering that dry mouth feeling as well, which is also then going to stop that bit of panic that goes on when you start to feel that dry mouth setting in. This is one that's often used in NLP, actually. And I love this exercise because it's to run your performance in your head before you go on stage. One of my favorite things is to stand side of stage just by myself, to close my eyes, and I run through my performance in my head, but I run through with it going really, really well. That visualization of a successful performance is going to help to boost your confidence when it comes to standing on stage. I always like to imagine the crowd, imagine myself singing and going through all of those motions, because we do know that visualization is a form of practice as well. And reiterating to your brain that it's going to go well is also going to help calm your nerves. Lastly, if you're someone who forgets their lyrics before they go on stage, you're standing there, you're about to sing your first note, or you're hearing the introduction to your song, and you cannot, for the life of you, remember what the first word is. I tell you, I've been there. This happens every single time for me, every single time without fail. I have my favorite exercise for you. Don't try and get in the way. It sounds really, really simple, but you're standing there. I cannot for the life of me remember what the first lyric of my song is. I can't even remember what the song is called. But because you've put in the preparation, your song is in your subconscious brain, and your conscious brain is kind of freaking out at the idea of performing. So what I want you to do is not try and look for the lyrics. Stand there, breathe normally, get ready for it, listen to the piano, and just try and get out of the way. What will happen in most circumstances is your subconscious brain will take over and will automatically start singing the song for you. It sounds really voodoo, but just try not to get in the midst of that. Don't try and grab it, okay? Our conscious brain is much slower than our subconscious brain. Honestly, this has helped me hugely when it comes to my performance anxiety, because I had a really terrible experience about 8 years ago, which is where all my anxiety kind of stemmed from. I was made fun of at a gig for forgetting my lyrics, and it was kind of a regular gig. And then because of that, it turned into like a whole thing, turned into panic attacks, performance anxiety. I stopped performing and singing altogether because of it. I should have got help sooner, but a lot of the time when it comes to performing, there isn't as much help as we think out there for these types of things that happen with us as performers. It's important for you to know, though, that you are not alone. You are not broken. You are not bad at this. This is something that we all learn as we go on. And I have to say, without the help of my fantastic coach, Taryn West, I would not have gotten over my stage fright by myself. I guarantee it. I was like holed up in a little hole with my panic attacks, and she helped me with 3 years of coaching. So I'll put a link in the description below to her. She's absolutely fantastic, and she's also a singer, so she knows exactly what it's like. We got there, everybody. If you've got any extra tips or exercises that you like to do in order to help to calm your nerves before you go on stage, let me know down in the comments. I would love to hear from you so that we can add to this list. And if you've enjoyed this video, then hit that subscribe button so that you can join me here for more vocal technique help, so I can help you just to get better at singing, and we're here for one another. I've also got the free PDF available in the description below, and I'll see you around here next time. Good luck for your next performance. You are amazing. You can do this. Using one of these techniques, I'm sure you're going to get on stage for your next performance. Mwah! Have an awesome rest of your day. Happy singing, ka kite anō.